And
Another
hopefully,
great herd presentation.
and hopefully we are now back with the world. 5 minutes into this race, we hopefully, Marilyn, we hopefully have sound back again. Ella Nick is 2 seconds off the pace, but she is closing back on again, which is a brilliant effort. Just on this 8% segment, if she can just close up a little bit more, she's only probably 10 meters off this pack of four riders. But it looks like they might just pull away again, so it could well be a TT to the end. But hopefully, if she's got anything left, she needs to give it all now.
So this front group of C's, still 6, riding brilliantly well together, are now descending down towards the pot bank wall. I think they all know exactly what's coming because they've all stuck right with each other. They do not want to try to break away at this point. There's fireworks incoming in this front group of C's.
Ella Rennick's just gone past Margaret on this ramp towards the top end of the course, but she's now 13 seconds back, so it is looking like it's going to be a TT to the end. So I'm just going to switch over to see how Roseanne's doing at the front of this group. And she's doing quite nicely, sitting second wheel at the moment. As we just come over the top of this ramp. Craig, what sort of position's Margaret in?
Yeah, they're riding very, very close together as a group. So there's 6 girls out front. It looks like it may have just split to 5. As they're hitting the wall, they're now really dropping the hammer. So we've got 1 girl pushing off the front, then 4 with our 2 cryogen girls in there. Hard bit's done now, really. Once they get over this, it's now a race to the top of Otley.
And you can tell quite how quickly the C's are going, because it looks like, given they started 2 minutes in front of the B's, the gap's still about 1 minute 40 if Zwift Power Live is anything to go by at all. It looks like it's about a kilometre behind, but it's still pretty big gap. So what I said earlier about expecting the categories to catch may well not happen between the C's and the B's, but the B's are just about to get a lovely surprise as they go around this corner.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be catching this group of C's. So it's now down to 1 girl's off the front, a group of 3, and then 2 girls just blew up trying to go up the 20%. Did not quite make it for fairly obvious reasons. But yes, see how they go. They all obviously knew the course, which was really nice to see.
Yeah, we've got the South Korean rider, Jae Kim, off the front now. She was holding around 5-6 watts a kilo, and she's gapped Roseanne by about 3 seconds. Roseanne sitting in second wheel at the moment, pushing really hard. Heart rate's in the 190s. So she's definitely on the edge at the moment, but she'll be glad to see this gradient come down very shortly. And then we continue the climb up towards top of Otley Road, and then they'll all be grateful for a bit of downhill, I think. I suspect the South Korean rider is extremely light. Just trying to see if she is actually on Zwift Power. I don't believe she is. So Roseanne is technically leading as far as Zwift Power is concerned. She may well not know that, but the South Korean rider's pulled out 15 seconds. That sounds painful.
That sounds very painful. So, not far from where I live, there's a lovely piece of road which is dubbed WTF Corner. I tend to think it's can't be worse than the Pot Bank Wall. But hey, I haven't ridden it yet. I'll let you know when that happens.
Please film it.
I can almost guarantee that's going to happen because I'll be riding it with some of the platypus.
Yeah, it does rather.
The whole idea is silly, Craig. It's a 230 kilometre day with just over 4,500 meters of elevation in it.
Wow.
And to make life more interesting, there's a 13-hour cutoff. So if you don't finish it in 13 hours, you technically don't finish. So there's the challenge.
Absolutely. The bees are onto Otley Road now, and they'll begin descending fairly shortly. Roseanne's currently wheel free. She's with T. Styler, who's wheel 2 at the moment. The Korean rider's pulled out 30 seconds. Whether or not they'll pull anything back on the downhill, I'm not entirely sure. But these guys have got a 3-second lead over Jay Lehman from PDQ. So I suspect that gap will probably stay to the end unless she is able to put out some big watts to get back on. But we are about 3.5 kilometres from the finish line. What's going on overseas?
In the seas, it's got interesting. So we have an Alison Innard from Redcar Try. She has pulled out nearly 20 seconds going up the Pot Bank Wall, and she's doing her damn best to TT at home. Then we have a group of 3. We have Courtney from Evolution, and E Bluebird, and Abby from Team Cryogen. We're trying to chase her down and doing a damn good job of it. So they've hit the final climb on Otley. They've got maybe another 500 meters to go on this, and they are throwing everything at it.
I'm going to say this climb is one of my favorite spots to attack on this reverse Yorkshire finish. Yeah, because it's tough to stay away from Otley unless you do get it.
Well, in my opinion, this is one of the greatest finish lines in Zwift, because the finish line for me is here on the top of Otley. So if I can catch you or get within a couple of seconds of you on the top here, I'll have you by the line. So I think this is the greatest finish on one of the best courses in Zwift.
It's also well up there with one of the most painful as well, I think. We are halfway down Otley Road. We're just hitting the 5 to 9% ramp. The gaps for the Korean rider up front still 30 seconds. But Roseanne and T. Styler are pretty much together, although Roseanne's just putting a little bit of a kick. No, it's still together. So it's looking like it's probably going to be a sprint finish between these two to get the first classified position. But we have 2.5 to go. And Craig, how's Margaret doing? She made it to the top.
So yeah, she's made it to the top of the loop, but or the top of the pot bank wall, and she's up on that long false flat to the on the finish. The gap to third it's gone up a little bit, but it hasn't changed much. But it looks like it's big enough. It's probably going to finish like that, and so she's moving well in fourth place. And how's the sea finish?
So the Seas are getting very, very close. They're just about to make the left-hand turn. And then it's a couple of 100 metres to the actual banner. So our group of 3 is chasing hard, but I don't think they're going to get there. So I think they're sprinting for second. So we'll see how they go. Just making the turn now. Banners in view. And watts is coming up. 5 watts a kilo from all 3 of them. 6, 7. 7. Looks like the girl from Team Ovo's gone early. Bluebird has kicked hard, but a girl from Evo did enough, finished second. So front of these, done. Great race from all of them.
Yeah, and in the Bs, Jay Lehman has actually made the catch and has kicked on and created a little bit of a gap, but it looks like that's coming back down again now. We can also see the left-hand turn towards the finish. Lehman may have enough here. The gap is 2 seconds, but it does appear to be closing. We are just coming around the left-hand corner now. Either Roseanne or T-Styler needs to kick early if they want to have a chance here. Roseanne's up to 400 watts. They can see Lehman in front. Have they left it a bit too late? Still doing 7 watts a kilo. Oh, it's going to be ever so close. Oh, on the line. I think Roseanne's just got it by a tiniest of margins. Yeah, I think so. That's as close as you get.
Margaret is still on that gentle descent before that one kicker coming into the finish. I guess the
So I've jumped back and I found Christina Motzko, who is in the A's. She's running third, and she has one of the Sea Riders just in front of her, so she's probably going to finish third. But that's an awesome effort to be racing A's.
It's probably also worth mentioning as Margaret heads down the hill towards the finish. Our route for next week is a single lap of figure 8. So we'll take the Hilly KOM in both directions and the Watopia Sprint in both directions as well. One of my favourite routes for a points race.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a great route for a points race. Not that I enjoy the Hilly KOM either direction, but the sprint. The sprint.
I like Hilly KOM forwards. I do not like it reverse.
Which one's the steep one?
That's
2 minute-ish. That's forwards?
Yeah, forwards.
Yeah, that's slightly better than the other one, I guess. If I had to choose. So Christina is coming around the corner to finish now. Banner is in sight. And looks like she's just going to push for the line. No real sprint here. Just a bit uncontested. Third for Christina. Great ride.
And whereabouts is Margaret?
So Margaret is getting close to the top of that, and the kicker coming towards the finish.
Yeah, and it'll be a fairly fast last 2k as well, once she's just over this crest. So we've talked about what we've got next week. The week after, which could be quite interesting, will be the Chain Chomper route, which will be 2 laps on a mix of tarmac and gravel. Got the Temple KOM and the Castle KOM, as well as the Country Sprint in there as well. So lots of opportunities for sprints, points over the 2 laps. I think we've just got the 1 sprint, mainly because Zwift Power gets a bit unhappy if you use a sprint that ends on the finish line. So there'll be a sprint on the first lap, but the 2 KOMs will feature twice. So we'll be looking at 5 fastest through segment opportunities there, as well as first over line points on the finish line.
Ooh, lots of interesting things there. That's going to be a great route.
And it's one of those where you have a good think about your bike selection and then realise you need the Tron.
But do you though? Because a gravel bike could actually be useful on that route.
But I think though, because the first half of the lap is tarmac, you'll get dropped too much to make the gravel bike worthwhile. Yeah, you'll bring back a bit of time on the Temple KOM, but not enough. And if there's any sort of field at all on road bikes for start, that gap is going to be massive.
That's very true. I think some homework needs to be done here. Yes, that's going to be interesting. Lots of interesting things.
Zwift Insider thinks Tron. But yeah, I think you lose too much of it in the first half of a race, which is pretty much the fastest half, as first half of a lap, which is the fastest half of a lap as well. So I think it would just be too much to bridge back.
You're most likely right, but not going to stop me doing my homework.
Oh no, of course not.
Has Margaret made it to the finish line yet, Craig?
So Margaret is she's approaching the left turn, and is well, she's gonna bring it home in 4th place. She's still pushing good power. It's been pretty consistent and pretty solid D power the whole time, and she's bringing it in, and has sight of the finish line, and accelerating nicely. So still had a little left to accelerate there, but mostly just bringing it home. So great race by Margaret, and there's a 4th place.
Well done, Margaret.
Well done, Margaret. And big thanks to everyone who's taken part in this race today, as well as ever, Craig and Ben for joining me my morning, Craig's very early morning, and Ben's evening.
We'll
see you again next week. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Bye.